help.
What?
I need your help.
With what?
With doing this real quick.
Buddy, I'm busy right now.
Please,
Can you not figure it out?
Please. I can't. It's hard.
Try a little harder.
Well, it's like where you have to escape Castle Shima, and there's tons of bad guys everywhere, and I
You
can't
gotta sneak
get out.
around.
Well, I don't know where to go.
You gotta crouch and go through the grass. Okay? Can you let Arlo out of here? What's up, dog?
Daddy, I still can't do it.
Try harder.
I did.
I'm busy. You can figure it out. Keep trying.
Alright.
Yeah, no worries. Alright, so as you guys climb on Biletooth's back, she gives a couple strong buffets of her wings, and before you guys know it, you're hundreds of feet up in the air, moving impossibly fast as she covers what seem to be days worth of travel in just a few moments. And as she streaks southward with you guys on her back, Donkey in the wagon and her rear talons, you guys notice off in the distance a tall, gleaming spire as what she would later soon tell you to be the spires of Castle Waterdeep off in the distance on the coast. As it starts as a speck and grows ever larger, and as the imposing view of the peninsula that Waterdeep sits on starts to grow larger, she skims down lower and lower towards the trees until she gets probably, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 miles outside town, and sits down in a field out there where they grow most of the wheat and crops that feed the city. And as she lands, she kind of shimmies and gets you guys off her quickly, and then transforms back into her human form and says, "All All right, is everybody clear on what we're here to do now? Yes. Are you muted? I think you're muted, John.
Yep. I was gonna say, there's a lot of things we're supposed to do, aren't we, love? So, what do you mean? Are we clear?
I think whatever it is that you've just stumbled into is the primary importance here. I would say it probably takes precedent over whatever other business is bringing you south, seeing as you appear to have unlocked something here that could spell the doom of all of us. And as she is saying this, you start to notice that there's the insect life around you is higher than anything that you normally would imagine to be in a field of crops here. You notice that on the ground around you as you're walking, you hear the crunch of locusts and other insectoids underneath your feet as their numbers here are just staggering. But they don't appear to be as heavily in the air as they were back at the obelisk where you first encountered the swarms.
So, like, in the sense that they're like, I guess, coming out more, making themselves more visible, or in the sense that they're like
that it's a plague of insects.
Yeah, that they're growing in number, I guess.
Yes, I would say, I guess for mechanics of it, where you guys were when you did the teleportation would be like ground zero, and they're basically just swarming out from there, moving in an ever widening arc. And I would say probably within, I don't know, I want to say you guys were still like 10 to 12 days away. They're probably gonna be at Waterdeep proper in, I'd say maybe a 10-day. And at that point, it's going to be, yeah, you're going to have a plague of insects that are swarming the skies and generally doing apocalyptic shit.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we should probably seek out that doctor, is what my lady is saying. It's a bit veiled, but I think she's thinking it's most important.
You mean the Raymond guy?
Yeah, pretty sure that. Well, we don't know what kind of mages he is, do we? We know he's some kind of know-it-all. We should see him out first before we do anything else.
Yep,
yeah.
Let's find Raymond. I got my glasses. I'm ready.
All right, so she says, "This is where we're going to part ways. I have other business to attend to in the city. When you are ready to find me, use the amulet that
do a barrel
he possesses." And she nods at Brennish. You have the amulet now, right? Or does Barnaby still have that?
I'll just say I took it from him, because it's my lady.
Okay.
Ah.
All right, and she with that she basically moves on about her business. So what do you guys want to do at this point?
I guess
we haven't been here before, have we?
No, you've not been to Waterdeep before.
I guess let's go see if we can snoop out some information about this Raymond fella, or the Order of, what did she say she was doing research for? The Order of Knowledge?
Yeah, I think she said she was with the Hall of Knowledge.
The Institute of Knowledge. She said institute. I said, what institute of what? And then she said the Hall of Knowledge.
So I guess let's see if maybe we can find out where that place is and start there.
Yeah,
a hall has to be pretty good size, right? So
it's a pretty big place.
Yeah. Well, first I guess we have to get into the city.
Which part did we land on? Did we land like south of Undercliff by that gate?
So you guys would have been coming in from the north. So the north gate there, the high road, that is what you guys would have come in on if you had stayed on the path coming south from Neverwinter. She dropped you basically in the outskirts there where those fields are.
farm.
And yeah, I'd say you're probably about maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles away from the city, far enough out that they wouldn't notice a dragon flying in low, close to the treetops. And you're coming in at night here, so it is dark outside currently. I'd say it's probably maybe 9 p.m. But she brought you in under cover of darkness, obviously, so it didn't stir up a panic with a dragon coming towards the city. But
Yeah, it makes sense.
what gate do you guys want to enter? Are you gonna go? I guess, did you all get the map that I sent out?
I did. That's what I was gonna
I
say.
got it.
Is there
Yeah, I'm
a-
looking at it right now.
I would assume with it being nighttime, also with being new people, we should just try and head in maybe through the north gate. That would be the busiest gate, right? So that's closest to us. So let's just try and see if we can even enter the city. I don't know if it's under. I don't know what the conditions are to enter the city.
So, north gate through the field ward.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
we're on the
maybe
north side.
maybe
yeah.
the guards at the gate will know where our man is that we're seeking.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
So that's the game plan.
All right. So you guys gather your things and start heading. I guess you get back on the high road and head to the north gate. As you approach the city walls, the walls here basically moving up to it. The wall's probably about 20 to 25 feet high. It appears to be masonry stone, and it stretches basically from the coast, which would be to your right or
Yep.
east from
Troll
y'all.
gate. Yep.
Yeah, and all the way basically to the left, where Waterdeep basically is built on you've got a cliff on the east side of the city, and then you've got basically the coast on the west side of the city. And as it moves in, it basically moves up on top of a hill and comes back down on the other side. So you've got natural boundaries on the west side. So the wall stops at that tower on the northeast side there of the field
Oh yeah,
ward.
yeah. See that? Yep.
And then you've got basically the cliff. The area to the east of that is known as Undercliff. That's basically those people evacuate and they can move into the actual mountain that Waterdeep's built on.
Uh-huh.
But as you guys move on the high road and start to approach the north gate is closed in the evenings, but it is manned by a full sentry regiment of City Watch. And as you approach, two guards with full scale mail and pikes move out and approach, and they've got torches with them to say, "Halt! Who goes there?"
It is I, British, the science guy, and his group, and we are here to see Sir. And I look at Susu. What was his name again?
We're here for the Hall of Knowledge.
Sorry, my squire doesn't quite know the names. We're here for the Hall of Knowledge.
Oh, very well. Are you
man of
seeking
science.
learning, or are you here to peddle wares? Merchants and tradesmen must apply for a license from the City Watch. You can get those here. They are a very reasonable toll of 25 gold.
Oh, Jesus.
Reasonable. Reasonable.
I think. We're just here because our friend, as you can see, we had an encounter with a ghost creature that somehow sucked his intellect from his head.
Yep. Totally.
And so we were told that the Hall of Knowledge can help to fix the trauma that he
All the
underwent.
side effects.
Yeah, and so we're not here for wares. We're just here to seek their help.
See you in the morning. Good night.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're here to sell anything. We might buy some stuff while we're
Good
here,
night,
but
Benjamin.
we're not trying to sell nothing.
We're not trying to buy anything either. We're just here for the knowledge.
Well, I mean, you might want to buy something where you drink it. It's Waterdeep. I don't have anything from Waterdeep. It's my first time here, and I'm pretty excited. I might want to get a little souvenir, like a little cup or something that says
Uh-huh.
"What you've been to Waterdeep," you know, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, he's undergone some trauma.
Can
Oh,
you
very
tell his
well.
his brain's not there.
Well, hopefully you'll find the answers you seek. The Temple of Ogma, font of knowledge, is in the castle district. You can,
Castle. Thank you.
yes. It's south of the market.
And if obviously, with it being this time of night, we'll end up needing somewhere to stay. Would you have anywhere you would suggest for travelers new to the city to
He,
stay the night?
looking you up and down, you guys don't look like you're made of money. You look like you could use,
That's true.
a little bit of cleaning. Yeah, been on the road for a couple days. He says, well, depending on your tastes, it starts at the top as expensive and gets cheaper and cheaper as you work your way to the south end of the city.
Great, thank you. That's
But
well, good note.
as far as accommodation, you could probably find somewhere cheap to free in the field ward, but I'll warn you, the refugees that we're putting up here are not exactly the nicest folk, and it's kind of become a little bit of Lord of the Flies in there, if you know what I mean.
Indeed. It's terrible.
You
what's
guys have that
happened.
book here as well. That's interesting.
The fuck? How do you know what a book is?
You
Oh,
can't
Lord of
even
the Flies.
read.
Yeah, but the Lord of the Flies is a classic, isn't it? And you know what? I have a hospitality and a kind of a rustic type. That I'm sure we could find a place for us to hang out and meet with the people. It'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, well, thank you, sir. And
Yeah, let's go find this man a brain.
yeah, let's try for the Hall of Knowledge, see if it's open this time of night.
Unleash. And Brennis does a rather dramatic bow to the guards.
So, as you guys start to head through the gate, he takes notice of all of the weaponry that you have on you. He says, "Oh yeah, your Waterdeep is a heavily controlled city. If you're going to venture through the wall with those weapons on you, they're going to need to be peacebound."
Is there any way they cannot be peacebound?
He kind of leans in you and says, "Well, that depends on how much gold you want to pay for your unpeaceful activities."
And then Brennis leans back in closer to him and goes, "How much gold would that take, friend?"
He says, "Well, the nobles usually pay a stipend of 35 gold per sword."
Well, as you can see, we are not nobles. But what if I paid you 10 gold now, and once I get me brain back, we find a little bit extra, I give you an extra 30 later.
We'll say 15 now, 40 when you leave the city.
Brenna spits in his hand and reaches it out to shake.
Pretty.
Okay, he shakes your hand. He
Yes.
says, "Would any of you other gentlemen like to make the same agreement?"
Oh no, you can peacebound mine.
You're gonna
Very
let the guy without a brain wander the city. That's gonna be awesome.
That's so good.
Alright, I'm reducing it 15 right now.
Alrighty.
And
Right,
Susu will
it's
allow
like
him.
inventory, right?
Yeah. But it's 15 gold if you want it unpeacebound, and if not, then you have it peacebound, which means you can't. Right, peacebound means you can't actually pull it from your holster, right? Or if you do, it's like a blunt instrument. It's not a. It's like a club or whatever.
So basically, peacebound weapons, it converts all the damage to like subdual, so it's non-lethal. If you get caught by the city watch or any of the guardsmen having removed your peacebound weapons without a permit, then they'll fine you and possibly put you in prison.
And that's what I'm buying right now is the permit, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So Susan will be like, no, you can peace by mine, and then I'll just kind of like stand there waiting for them to peace by. I don't even know. I guess.
Your bow.
So
Four
I'll
darts,
let me
four
clarify.
daggers, 5
Anything
daggers.
like a dagger is not something they'll peace bind, but anything that's like short sword or larger, or like an axe or a great axe, something like that, would require peace binding. But most of the noble families that travel with a retinue, their retinue are armed in basically like leather armor, because you can't wear anything more than leather inside the city unless you're city watch, and you can't carry anything longer than a short sword or basically a dagger unless you're part of the city watch or like the Grey Hands or something.
Okay. Well, I'll just show him that I have like darts and daggers, and then give him my longbow, I guess, to bind to.
Okay. When they take your ranged weapons, yeah, they basically unstring him. He gives the string back to you and gives you your unstrung bow. But anybody who's going to pay for a permit, go ahead and deduct the 15 gold from your inventory.
I'm going to do that.
And as you he goes back and motions for his comrades to open the gate, and as soon as the gate, you hear a clunk 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 as the gate starts to shimmy open, and almost instantaneously you're assailed by just a waft of acrid filth and human waste, as what basically amounts to like a unkept refugee camp unfolds before you. And as you move through the gate, the guard there, he's got basically like a wreath of cooking herbs, almost like a face mask over his face to kind of shield him from the stench. Says, "I suggest you head southward and don't stop until you hit the inner wall. You don't want to get caught lingering in here." And
So we're in the field ward.
yes. So as you move through the field ward,
As the door opens, just gonna take a big inhale. Oh, thank God! It smells so much better than walking with Brennis.
Yo, he's dirty. Or he's dumb, not dirty. Come on.
It's terrible smelling.
Listen, all you're smelling is me sweaty balls
And
after
then-
the
and
time
then-
I've had with my lady.
And then Susan will try not to throw up.
yeah, as you move through the field ward, the smell of urine and feces kind of starts to intermingle with that kind of smoky, acidic odor of coals and chemicals, what you would know to be like a tanning facility somewhere nearby. And off in the distance, you can hear kind of yipping and barking of dogs with the occasional howl, as wild packs tend to gang up and sometimes attack a member of the own pack when they're starving, or attack other larger game that can be taken in the streets here. As you're moving through, you notice there does not appear to be any kind of city watch presence here. This, for all intents and purposes, for your short trip through this area, appears to be lawless from what you can tell. There does not appear to be any authority here other than that mans the walls and the gate. But as you continue south, you encounter the inner guard shack there that puts you out onto the high road. Basically, the high road runs the length of Waterdeep, north to south, cutting right through the middle of Castle Ward before it dead ends and turns east and heads through Trade Ward and goes out the south end of the city.
I guess we're headed for Castle Ward.
Yeah, so Castle Ward, Temple of Ogma, Font of Knowledge, is basically down there next to the Hawkman. And as you move through Waterdeep, you'll notice certain landmarks that can help you keep your bearings here. Namely the great walking statues of Waterdeep that are have been told and spoken about in legends, and just kind of hearsay and myths. But they do appear to be every bit as real as the stories you've heard about them. And at this point, everybody give me something interesting that your characters would see as you're traveling down the high road through the North Ward towards the Temple of Knowledge in central Waterdeep.
Just the amount of people, Brennis is kind of taken aback because to this point I've never seen this many people in one area coming from a small. I mean, even Neverwinter was not this packed full of people.
Yep.
So just kind of an overwhelming feeling of, like a country mouse in a big city.
The amount of people, but the fact that they have a refugee camp, or whatever you want to call it, at the field ward part where nobody really holds it down, makes me want to kind of avoid that area as we're getting more information about how to fix John's brain, so that we don't have to worry about the confrontation.
I believe John's brain is okay. I think it's Brennis's brain. Thank you.
Sorry. I mean, they're the same kind of. One looks cooler than the other.
Walking through, I think Susu would be just trying to pay attention and gather a lay of the land of the streets, as well as the kind of trying to get an idea of like the dangerous parts versus the not dangerous parts. But also just taking note of, even though the guards were like asking to peace bind weapons and everything, Susu will take a note of the high amount of weapons that he sees throughout the different individuals that are not peace bound, kind of implying to him that there's a outward expression of what the city wants to send that's not really there when you get into it and start digging around.
Also, I just want to make sure we can make Guts happy too, now that he can't hold his bomb again. So, maybe he can hold Susu in his arms. He's like a dwarf among midgets, right? What's Guts again? What's Guts again?
Graz?
I mean, what's Graziano again?
Rouse is a dwarf.
Yeah, so he is. He's a dwarf among...
Yeah, but dwarves don't like to be held.
No, he's not holding. He's not being held. He's doing the holding.
Because Bartleby's a gnome or a halfling.
He is a gnome.
Which one's taller? Well, a dwarf is taller than a gnome,
dwarf,
right?
Yeah.
So,
substantially.
Yeah, so
And they're
it's like
very
dwarf,
proud people.
midget, gnome, right? That's how it goes.
No. Dwarf, then probably
Like dwarf is tall, then midget,
halfling.
then gnome.
There's no midgets.
That's a halfling, I guess. And there is a midget.
Nope, they
So-
don't exist.
As you guys are moving through the North Ward, this area is visibly cleaner and quieter than what you encountered in the Field Ward. There are basically carriages that are moving through the paved roads here, transporting people around at night. It's probably not as busy as it would be during the day, but again, Brennis, you're still surprised to see this many people out at night. At this point, it's probably, I'd say 10 p.m. Most of these people here are headed back to their villas or their homes. You would definitely get the feeling that this area exudes an era or an aura of wealth to it. But as you're moving south, you notice the city watch presence becomes sparser and sparser as you get further south in the city. And eventually, when you get to the market area, the intermingling of rich and upper and middle class becomes more apparent here as people basically appear to flock to the central area of the city, the market, and the surrounding pubs and taverns at night after they've gotten off of performing a hard day's work so they can drink and gamble and carouse and stuff here. But it starts to pick up as you get to the central area of the city, and as you move into the castle ward proper, you see basically the tall spires of the god Ogma, which is the deity representing knowledge. And as you move closer to this edifice, you start to see basically all on the outside of the building are almost like constructs. Like you can see that they have basically a fixation on machinery, things of that nature, engineering. And on the side streets and stuff around the Temple of Knowledge, you can see basically similar to what was set up by the obelisk. Like it looks to be basically just areas for experimentation. You've got work tables and stuff that were set up possibly from the day's experiments earlier when the daylight hours were still going on. But as you approach the doors to the temple, you try them and they are locked. There's a sign with posted hours on the outside that says come back in the morning at sunup. And what do you guys want to do at this point?
Well, our options are break in or come back tomorrow.
I would say we try to find a place to sleep for the night.
Yeah, I think that
and come back the next day.
So to be clear, there's no guards in like the field ward. Then there's like guards along the north part of the north ward, and then they kind of start to become more and more sparse as you move south from there.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the northern areas of the city, the North Ward and Sea Ward, are basically where like the noble families and the rich merchants and businessmen live, and they have a higher guard presence there to kind of keep the riffraff out at night and keep the crime levels down. But as you move further south through the city, especially when you get to the Southern Ward or South Ward, that's where most of the basically like transplants and stuff like live. Dock Ward obviously is going to be where all of the seamen and stuff, those guys, people that are in and out of the city often. Dock Ward is pretty rough because there's basically Dock Ward lives by its own rules. You gotta have your head on a swivel moving around in Dock Ward. It's kind of similar to the Field Ward, but it's got some city watch presence there.
Right.
But the area you're moving to, Castle Ward, is basically where all the administration and stuff happens. It's where Castle Waterdeep is actually located. And
So I think we just try and find a spot nearby, somewhere in the Castle Ward or close by the market, where we're close by where we want to go tomorrow morning.
I'm in. You gotta threaten me is a good time.
Okay, as you guys are moving around the area, you see basically day-old broadsheets and stuff that have been, handed out by the Scream people and plastered on the walls of businesses and stuff, advertising different wares and taverns and stuff. One of them that you notice that's been heavily advertised in this area is the Inn of the Yawning Portal, and advertising its cheap drinks and access to Undermountain. Things of that nature, but there's also a couple other taverns around the area. Did you guys want to try the Yawning Portal, or did you want to go to another tavern in the area?
Yawning Portal sounds pretty cool.
Sounds fine to me.
All right,
Heck yeah.
so you guys... sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say we can also just scope that out because I think Undermountain, wasn't that one of the things we were talking about? Anyway, you can go ahead.
So as you guys move through Castle Ward, you head south, skirting the edge of Trade Ward, and get eventually to the Yawning Portal. It's just a couple streets off from Castle Waterdeep proper. And as you approach, this area is not very busy out at night like this, but as you get closer to the Yawning Portal, you can hear the basically the commotion and the large crowd gathered inside the business's environs, and you can see the lantern and torchlight coming out through the windows. And as you get closer to the inn, you see employees and patrons kind of hanging decorations for some upcoming festivity that's going to be going on in the city within the next few days. And as you approach and walk through the door, you get almost kind of a mixture of odors here. You get, a roasted mutton in an oven that's being served with some dragon fin soup and the waft of ale and whiskey as it's mixing with that kind of stale sweet smell of urine as somebody pissing in a corner somewhere. And the cacophony of sound as you enter this place it's deafening at first, but you quickly get accustomed to it. And it's not just adults in here. There are children running around, play fighting and stuff with their wooden sticks. But then the hallmark of this area being the well in the center of the room. It's basically a big open, almost like a tower with a well in the center and a winch and pulley system. And as you're moving in, there's people moving up and down on the winch and pulling. You can hear the faint echoes of swords and shouting of someone fighting down in the pit below. And as you guys walk in through the front door, a tall, not necessarily muscular, but lean, weathered, experienced looking gentleman behind the bar kind of looks over in y'all's direction, says, welcome to the portal. Find a table, we'll be with you shortly. And
thank you.
With that, I'm going to go ahead and call this session here, and we will pick up next session.
Is this the one that there's literally a giant hole that goes down to the depths of whatever? Is
Yes.
this that same bar? Okay.
Yes.
I'm just trying to remember. I feel like in another life I've been here.
We're here at one point in the portal.
I feel like one of my friends that was an elephant shot an arrow through a guy.
That did happen. Alright, so
Cool.
just real quick, are we going to try to play again in, what is in 2 weeks?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a no
25th?
for that.
The day after Thanksgiving. Black Friday.
Day after, yeah. Got time to show next week.
Okay, so next week's out.
And I think I'm out the week after that as well.
Okay, so we want to shoot, is everybody, do y'all think you'll be available December 2nd?
I'm in.
I should be good then.
100% I'm in. Yep.
You can pencil me in. I think
Yeah.
I might be flying back that day.
12
Be
too.
flying up for my first one.
Okay.
You just have to get on your laptop.
Alright, real quick, session wrap up. Is everybody good with the amount of narration? Too much, too little, or?
No. It was
No, I
great.
think it was great.
Yeah. I thought
Especially-
tonight was. I had a lot of fun tonight.
Alright, good
there
deal.
was a lot of good stuff.
I was
Alright.
gonna say, especially your detail, description of everything is always so
Yeah,
fire. As an aspiring DM, I'm always impressed with the level of information you have. So it's very cool.
And I feel like we were able to put a lot in. We did combat, we did travel, we got into town, we did a bunch of different things, which I think was fun.
Yeah.
Okay,
we didn't
good
get
deal.
we didn't get bogged down anywhere, and it's fun.
Okay. Alright, yeah, I was trying to get, want to at least get into Waterdeep, and then from this point on, it's going to be a very, urban focused, cityscape type of game. So this
Yep.
should be a good bit different from what we've been playing so far. I'm not trying to overload y'all with options as far as quest strings. Or do I need to dial back on that a little bit, or do you guys feel capable of exploring everything you want to explore.
Yeah, I don't feel hamstrung at all.
No, yeah, I
The
definitely like
hardest
that.
part is John's brain. I mean, Rennis's brain.
I like the options and stuff. I think obviously, getting back into it once we're back to more of a regular play, I think will be good, because then we
Okay.
can kind of go our own direction as opposed to being kind of like, we need to get to Waterdeep sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now we're here. We have I like the options. It gives us the ability to make choices and the consequences that come with those choices. Like, everything's being weighed. So I think that's a really cool concept of it. And yeah, man, I don't feel like we've been like, what is it, like bumper guards or the bitch guards all the way in. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's like, I feel like obviously the goal was to get to Waterdeep. That's where Brennis wants to get revenge. That's where we've been instructed to go. So like, I feel like that all makes complete sense why we would do that.
Totally.
And then we have our options to do what we want too. So I think I'm happy with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I think it's been a good campaign.
Very good.
All right. So, quick recap. So you guys have got Daggalt Neverember's mission. He gave you a contact. I think it was Jalester Silvermane. Y'all can
Yeah.
follow up on that. I think some of you have individual quests in Waterdeep that you're trying to track down.
That bitch that killed my uncle.
I can't remember if I have.
I don't know that I've got one from you, Aaron. So you and Gus, I'll work with y'all in the off time or downtime or whatever to kind of come
we'll
up
get
with
together.
some personalized stuff for your characters to do.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah, I've got those letters.
I think
The
other
letters
than
of
that,
my family.
then we've got y'all have got a thread towards Rayaman. So that'll unwind itself. You guys decide to start investigating that, and then we've got a little bit on. I guess that the Rayaman direction is going to be more talking about the whole thing with Verhu. Doing the Daggalt Neverember is going to have more to do with, I guess, Orcus and the Mad Mage and the Worm shit. But it's all going to kind of, I guess, intermingle and tie itself together. So we're going to start getting into the actual Dragon Heist section of the campaign at this point. So this will be more like political intrigue and urban kind of exploration focused. But there will also be basically, you can do anything you want to in Waterdeep. There's tons of side quests and stuff that I've got. If there's anything that you want your character specifically to get involved in, just let me know and I can build something around that. But I think we've got plenty of little quest strings to go with right now. So
Yeah, I enjoyed today's session. It was very good.
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Fun.
Good. I'm
The
glad
one-
you guys had a good time.
The one thing I would say, for me personally, and it's up to the rest of the group if they're on board with it as well, is that, like I said, I know we've been kind of like mission driven up until now, but now that
still
we're
are.
kind of no, I agree. But I'm saying that now that we're kind of Waterdeep, I think the team, the people that we have, there's such good interactions that, as far as like when we're getting into moments of like character interaction and roleplay, I think we can spend more time on that
Sure.
now, as opposed to being like, all right, we can kind of add some of that in, but we've kind of got like a place to be by the end of this session type of thing.
Yeah.
So that would be all. That would be the only session I would have. Would be, if we end up dragging quote unquote a little bit more, just because we're having a good time interacting between characters, I think that's fine by me.
Well, like,
I don't
when
want
we-
I don't
like,
want to feel like we have to get something.
The only
Yeah, I
thing
got
that
you.
we had today that we spent extra time on was the room word thing. Bring up Brendan Jonathan, and then you did it too. That's the only time that we had spent, I think, time talking. But it was,
Right.
but it's more fun that way because you and John now have this other thing, and it added something else for us all to do.
Oh, definitely agree. I mean, yeah, like I like adding, that kind of stuff is definitely fun. I'm just saying, as far as like,
Group banter. The
yeah,
group banter is a
that
lot of
sort
fun.
stuff,
Going
yeah.
back and forth, having the conversations.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. I'm with you on that one too. I think that's always
I would
the ab-libbing with each other is so much
I
fun.
would have given Graz like a shit ton more like pain in the ass coming
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to
yeah.
life and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. just throwing that out there. Like I said, if it's, you know, it is what it is, and if that's not something that people are